Good evening, everybody. Welcome to what are we on? BeoTalk 254. It's
Probably the last one in a while now.
yeah, it'll be a laid back show tonight with enough anger, but it happens. And because when are we leaving? Wednesday morning. Yay. So I'll be in the US for a while and have no idea on internet and or computers and that sort of shit. And I can't bring all my gear with me because I have cats to bring with me, and those are counted as.
Okay,
like...
you're skipping your regular shilling, bro.
Oh, sorry. I'll go for the shilling.
Do it.
Go to.
Screwed up your whole routine now and stuff.
Yeah, go to Skinny Blade, buy yourself a new cover for your A9, for instance, or for your BeoSound stage. But if you have a nice Mark V A9, go and buy something there. You get 10% off if you use the code. So that's all good. What else do we have? Oh yeah, we have Discord. Come join our Discord if you want to be up to date on the latest and greatest troubles that people are experiencing all across the Beo world.
I got lots to tell about that.
Yeah, and last week of Prestige.
Prestige. We need Prestige. Yeah.
That promo code ends on the 31st of this month, so just be aware of that. Go buy
ready.
something from there. All their nice products, and also get 10% off of that. And if you don't like our faces, come and join our Substack.
Put your screen in a screensaver.
Yeah, that works too. If you have YouTube Red, it may not be that interesting, but
Exactly.
But I can't be bothered to pay YouTube. And I just saw today, actually, that thank you to Substack peeps, the podcast has been downloaded over 1,000 times there. So
we're getting popular.
Glad people like it. I mean, I just took it for what it was, and it just thought people may want that and not see us. And it turns out I was right. People don't want to see us. They just want to hear us say, that's what she said.
Hear us blab, that's what she said. Exactly.
And that sort of thing. And yeah, that's about it. And if you hate YouTube for whatever reason, we're also on Twitch. But before you leave, smash the like button, subscribe. It helps out a great deal. Super Chat guarantees answer to your question and or topic. And yeah, I think that's about it.
C'est ça, bro. That's it.
No, c'est tout.
It's ça over here.
Hmm?
Man, this is Montreal French. They say c'est ça.
Yeah, c'est tout. That is all.
That's it.
And if you were on Discord, unlike you would have known that there was some iffy Mozart shit going on over the weekend.
Okay, let's get into the iffy Mozart shit first of all, right out of the gate. So, I haven't had any issues with it so far, knock on wood. I think 2 weeks ago or a week ago, when the new software update came out, the 5.3.114.
Mm-hmm.
I get a phone call from Kareem in the shop. It's like 5 minutes to 6 to close, and he's like, "Dude, the theater's just blinking LED and it won't do dick. Like it just won't do anything. Not reset. You can't reset it because there's no physical button other than the two left and rights. Right? They don't light up. Then nobody's home there." So I just said, listen, just leave it for now. I'll look at it on Monday morning. Monday morning, the theater was fine. So Saturday night, this weekend, we're hanging out, and it was a late night. And it was at 3:20 in the morning. We switched from YouTube to radio to go to bed, and it just started blinking. I'm like, what the fuck? It's rebooting itself, and it's just blinking and blinking and blinking. So I'm standing like 15 minutes looking at this thing, blinking. I'm like, there's something wrong. So I unplug the bloody thing, give it a minute, plug it back in, keep blinking. Okay. So I'm like, we've had some drinks. I'm like, you know what? I am not taking this apart at 4 a.m. I'm just gonna leave it unplugged, go to bed, and in the morning I plug it in again, and it does the same thing. Like that's when I was talking to you, and you sent me that thing from the Discord that it takes about an hour, some people a few days, I guess, for this thing to revive itself if it's hardwired to the network. Well, I don't have the possibility nor option to hardwire this bloody thing to the network because they don't give me network out of that Ubiquity deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I left it blinking for about an hour and a half. We made lunch, hung out, whatever, listened to the freaking the replacement here. The Oh god, the M3 sounds so awful compared to Emerge now. Honestly, I would never think that I would ever say that, but I really like the Emerge. It's a fantastic speaker for what its purpose is, not something that you're gonna
It's a
throw
third the
parties with.
price, though.
I understand. But anyway, so this was doing the job because nothing else had the opportunity to do that. And all of a sudden, it just fucking started. Hour and a half later, it was literally like hour and a half because I was timing it. Now I was on it like white on rice. And yeah, it booted back up. Like it just came on like nobody's business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're rolling drunk into the house and you're looking at your like, what do you mean? What happened? Like, so that's exactly what this was. And it pissed me off, man, because I don't mind it happening to me, but if it's at the client's house and I don't really have an answer nor a poor answer, such as, yeah, you just gotta wait, that's not good. So
Yeah, so what the issue was is I'm sort of reading slightly verbatim. If you had a beer sound balance emerge level 28, and apparently some theaters were affected too, it would start flashing white during the last, well, now 3 days, and where it appeared stuck in a boot loop, which is like, yeah, when you're in a boot loop, you go for Fruit Loop. And B&O was aware of it and pushed out a fix, but apparently people were affected for anywhere from 24 hours to maybe 3 days or so. There was one of the things that is threw me for a wrench is that he says it's important that you leave the mains connected. Do not attempt to reset the product. If you perform the factory reset in an attempt to fix the issue, plug in an Ethernet cable and connect to the mains. That was what I was afraid of for you, as in like, bloody hell.
I'm fucked. Yeah,
you would have to take it to the shop. You would have to disconnect everything.
Yeah. No, I would be screwed for a few days because what I would have done at that point, I would have just gone straight on Amazon and buy a Wi-Fi to network adapter or Ethernet adapter for $30 and plug it in.
Yeah, but the basic thing, which happens to all B&O whenever it goes wonky, is you pull the mains. If that doesn't fix it, then you hard reset it.
Yeah, but how can you hard reset it when it doesn't even light up those buttons, bro? So that means that part of the keyboard is not even operational, or the keypad, the glass, whatnot. You know what I mean?
I guess you could still have some app access.
No, it's offline completely. Like it's completely boned. All you get is that white light blinking. That, like, I guess it's indicator that yes, I do have power, but that's about all you get. And another thing that I had found out very strange. So it happens I have a girlfriend now, so I happen to, watch some gay shit against my will, and we watched this Daisy and the Six, the series on Prime. It's basically a faux documentary about Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
So like the songs are very similar sonically or whatever, but we were watching this, man, and I cannot have this thing in true image because the vocals just piss away completely. Like the music is just too loud and there's no vocals. I have to go to the app and put it to direct mix. If I put it to direct, the surround works still, no problem, right?
Yeah.
As prescribed, not much difference. But all of a sudden, the mid range and the tweeter just shines in the middle.
Weird.
Like it's absolutely bizarre, and it's only on the Amazon Prime. Because if I go to YouTube, there is no issue with the true image upmixing.
It's weird because there was a review of the theater
Hi,
recently,
Steve.
and Evening Steve, and where they said there was actually a problem with the true image upmixing, where it wouldn't do stereo into multi-channel properly.
I think I have that issue with the center channel being surround like that. I'm honestly today like I'm actually thinking of doing it live on the podcast and just c'est la vie, freaking or yeah, I'll say goodbye to the goddamn demo deal or whatever it is, the beta. I want to be alpha again. I don't want to be a beta, man.
Well, this thing that happened over the last 2-3 days with the boot looping thing happened to alpha and beta. So
I haven't seen it in the store. The only thing that we had kind of possessed was the level, but I don't know what was going on with this thing, man. It just, when you lose network, it gives you that poop poop sound. It was doing it out of nowhere, and all the 4 LEDs were orange, but it would still play. It would still respond to Google's, but it absolutely bizarre.
Yeah. Well, this is the only reason I'm yeah, because the first app/software thing that was weird was what, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, or something.
I think 2 weeks ago when they issued that new software.
And we're still not sure if it was theater specific or if it was LG that changed something in their latest software. And when that happened, I took out auto update off on the screen and on the theater, so I was totally unaffected. I guess I'm happy because I'm on older software, which still somehow drains this thing in like 2 months. But at least I'm unaffected, and like I said to you privately, like I'm very happy because I didn't want to be bothering with this bullshit so close to moving. Because had I not known, had I not been on the Discord and seen the message, I would have done the exact same thing, as in like unplug, plug back in, and then if not, hard reset.
Yeah, but I just didn't have the option to hard reset because I had the freaking fingers on the arrows where they are, right? Because I attempted to reset the bloody thing, but it just wouldn't take anything. It just stayed flashing, and it's very hard not to get frustrated over it. Very hard. But that being said, since we watched a few movies now and whatever, a few shows and blah blah blah, I have to say that the padding the wings and the back covers, absolute game changer.
No more vibrations, no more.
No more nothing, man. Like it just woofs hard. It woofs real hard.
That's what she said.
That's right. So
no, I mean, I'm happy they pushed out a fix this soon, and that it was pretty automated, as in it just happened overnight, and you didn't have to do anything special. But
it's not cool.
No, had you just bought an A9, the new one, the Mark V, you'd be pretty annoyed, especially if it was your first.
It'd be
product.
going back, bro. It'd be going back as a first product. It'd be definitely going back, and I don't think you'd ever be seeing that person ever again over there. Not even with a friend, unless that friend had an issue or buying something. But I don't think they would be buying something at that point. So your experience was that negative. Period. Speaking of the Gen 5 A9s, we paired them in the shop.
How's that?
Which, in my opinion, was almost a mistake. Because they killed the 28s, man. Not in imaging, but like in pure acoustic performance, they just, sorry to say. But the stereo sounds terrible.
Well, yeah,
because it's going from like basically, it's not even two acoustic lens-like speakers. It's just, it sounds like the imaging, like when you listen to 28s per se, or any stereo like speaker, you can perfectly tell, and especially on 28s when they're tuned, you can tell exactly how far from the band the voice or the singer is, type of thing, right? Like if you
Yeah.
get the ear for it and you train, you just know what to look for, I guess. It doesn't exist on the A9 stereo pair. It's very like it's like it almost sounds like the image is like literally 2
Band
meters
on the
wide,
wall-esque.
pretty much. But even the band on the wall is more or less like a very different way of looking at it as a speaker 3, because you got the center channel, which that's where most of the vocals come out, and then the band on the wall. At least that's when I had the shape in my house when I was listening to it. I usually listen to the band on the wall, because if it was radio, then only one speaker tile would work. The rest of them wouldn't, unless the commercial would come on and whatnot. But yeah, it
You
was
need this
more
new
like,
medication?
but no, it was more like, if I were to compare it to a shape, it would be more like a following mode, where it's complete mono type, but you can just hear all of it, right? But there's still a little bit that you can pick out as far as the stereo goes. But when it comes to the bass response, I don't know if that's just because that's where the speakers are placed in the shop, but they're tuned anyways. But that wall where we have the 28 is a sacrilege. Like it's not the best, but it is probably the best spot you can put them.
Interesting.
So, but yeah, the A9 Mark V sounds amazing on its own and even paired. Now, when it's paired, you don't see the icons of a product in the app. So that's a little bug that they got to work out. And it also is possessed quite a little bit, I would say. So that's what my week looked like this week. We played around with all that.
Well, since I'll be buying a house, I may have to get some A9s then.
There
Play
you go.
around with that.
And also, this is the last week that this is my background. I sold it yesterday.
Sweet.
Day before yesterday, yeah, I sold it to a gentleman. So yeah, one less box.
Yeah. No, interesting that you would say that the A9 does that. I haven't been able to play with it much. I can imagine how it sounds, but
I think it's the bass port that really helps it out more, that gives it that advantage, because the cabinet size is completely different and it's way larger than what it is for the 28s, the bass driver, right?
Yeah.
Because that thing is basically almost hermetically sealed on its own, within its own. There's not much air to go around.
Yeah, it's an 8-inch driver versus what, a 6.5-inch driver.
No, it's a 8.5 inside the A9.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like 8 or 8.5, but it's 6.5 on the 28s.
Yeah, it's a bigger driver in the A9.
Yeah, so it comes down a bit more. It doesn't have to push so hard for lower frequencies.
But then again, if you were to put one A9 versus a pair of 28s, the 28s will win.
Oh, of course.
Obviously. So, but that doesn't mean that I'm talking bad at the 28. It's just I was actually quite amazed at the way that this whole thing presented itself and sounded like.
Yeah.
When we tried it out. So
quick answer to Harry. He says he has 4,000, 6,000, 8,000. Used them with third-party receivers for Dolby Atmos system. You can absolutely do that. A friend of mine has that with 5s and 3s and 17s and God knows what else. So you need a good AVR with a good preamp and a trigger signal. Or
like a Marantz or
something. But Steve has all that for sale.
But no, that's exactly what Steve's saying. Get a Marantz. Yeah. It's got a 12-volt trigger out already. Just headphone jack. Get yourself a headphone jack. Splice the cables in. Plug it in. Balls your uncle. And then you have a power link trigger, unless you want to go with line in level. But sometimes I find that if you develop buzz in like a minute buzz that you can't really hear unless you walk up to the speaker and it's on and buzzing, that speaker will never turn off because it just knows that there is something coming in. And you can pick it up from, if you run it by the electrical wire or whatnot. Depends. I don't know what your house looks like.
I would say it's suboptimal, but you can optimize it to a large extent, and it's pretty okay. And depending on the AVR, you can make it good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but it takes a lot more fine tuning than a standard B&O system obviously takes.
Yes.
But,
also, I find now in doing a number of theaters that I have done over more than a dozen now, the way that this thing tunes itself, I still highly recommend for the installers to go into the settings, play your reference track from Deezer, and adjust things a little bit. And also, if you have a reference movie, like for me, Deepwater Horizon, which I need to get it on a USB stick so I can just plug it into the bloody thing, and I just know how it's supposed to sound because I've been listening to this thing on 90s forever and ever, and it's just one of those that I know what the surround should be behaving like, and so on and so forth, and how loud it should be. So that's my reference, of course. So I would definitely suggest people to play with it a little bit as well. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
yeah. No, I agree with that. I was actually listening to some music yesterday, and it's funny how speakers are tuned for the room you were in, and now my room is totally different with boxes and a lot more.
It affects it. It affects it tremendously.
I was sitting on the couch, and the couch was actually vibrating.
Wow.
It wasn't all that loud. I mean, it was 55 to 60 something, so it was pretty loud, but it wasn't like shouty loud. And there were a few low hums where it's like, why is the frame of my couch moving all of a sudden? I've listened to this before, and it never happened.
Yeah, you reduce the volume of air in the room. So,
well, it may also be just different waves bouncing around and that sort of shit, right? Where it
of course
amplifies where it didn't before. And
it's funny that it does that.
It kind of made me worried that if going to the US with paper walls, that I'll have to insulate the interior wall everywhere the speakers are. Because with 18s, it'll be fine, right? But with the 50s kicking off, all that energy is going to go lost into hollow walls, and then the whole house will sing.
Yeah. Hold on. Sandeep has an interesting point. Willie, I was told this week that the B&O are saying that using a theater and a matrix setup invalidates the theater warranty. I can't imagine that would be true. Because you're pushing HDMI signal with the puck controller into a box. And if that box burns, it's not something that would affect the theater. It's just like, if your Apple TV dies, it's not going to kill the theater. I'm going to look into this. If this dealer was telling you this, I cannot fathom the rhyme and reason and logic behind invalidating warranty by putting it on a HDMI matrix.
I, first of all, don't see how they would enforce that. The only reason I could see that happening is that if the matrix has a slightly off balance 5 and 7 volt on the HDMI, because you could potentially fry an HDMI port that way.
Wouldn't that be B&O's problem on their boards? Because this has been like that forever and ever with HDMI matrix, especially at Lona.
In Sandeep's case, I can't fathom it being the case because dealers installed it that way and they knew there was a matrix, right? So if you're a dealer and you don't tell them your customers that it's not allowed, but you go on anyway, then it's kind of on you.
See, sometimes my dealer uses Matrix in his store, but they've disconnected all theaters from their Matrix and are demoing using USB sticks alone. That's very interesting, man. We don't use Matrix in our shop, so I honestly wouldn't have confirm or deny answer for you. But I'm really surprised.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Also, since you
No.
already came with the Matrix and they installed it and it wasn't a problem at installation, it's on them.
But how do you fuck up a Matrix installation? Like in my setup, if I had a Matrix here, it would be one box glued behind the TV in that VESA compartment, and 3 cables go into it: HDMI in, puck, and the cat cable back to the Matrix box.
Yeah. I don't understand. I think this is a bit of a fib, and in a way it's telling you like, oh, I did something wrong when it wasn't your fault because they never told you, so you better get rid of it and then do it as long how we like it. So have us redo everything.
I honestly, I'm more or less agreeing with Steve's comment there. There isn't any intended use for Matrix for use on a Matrix, but it shouldn't cause any issues or affect warranty. I completely agree with you on that. That sounds more like the dealer saying, "quote unquote," I won't help you if you do that. Which I think, honestly, it's not just the dealer, but they had they announced it in BOIs that they're discontinuing support for it on a Matrix.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah, I think it's either the support completely or they just discontinuing you being able to order HDMI Matrix through BNO, I believe. But it makes no sense.
Oh, this company gives me headaches sometimes.
I understand their logic a little bit.
I don't.
But I understand the logic where they come from, because everybody now is consuming media independently, just like the network link does, that you can join, or you had the possibility to join with the video feed, but everybody watches their own stuff in their rooms. But what I think that they fail to understand, and in a high end homes that are integrated, like let's say what we do as a B&O company, people have sometimes 2 or 3 TVs within a view and angle, right? Because it's a living room TV, and then there's a kitchen TV, and when you entertain and you have the, let's say, golf or hockey, because that's one of those things that fly, right? Like I have clients that use Matrix, and they have fucking the entire house is playing golf, right? Because if he's busy going from room to room, then at least he doesn't, or when they're watching whatever sports event, so they don't miss a beat when they go from one room to the other, and that's how I have plenty of clients in Calgary that utilize matrices. But again, they're on the old Avance and so on and so forth, and different TVs.
But if the goal is
but
we're
I don't
going
understand.
after the very high net worth individuals, first of all, you have these weird software fuck ups that just take your device out for 2 days. And if it's the theater, then like you're without a TV, which is like, what the hell, man? And then very high net worth individuals. Now they're going to have every source 5 times if you have 5 TVs. Like, why? Like, why not have it in the server rack? Like, because very high net worth individuals tend to have camera systems. Because you're not just going to wing it and think like, well, my, I don't know, new Ferrari is going to stay safe because I pray to Jesus or whatever. Like, and these houses, as you well know from Calgary, they're enormous.
They're enormous here. Actually, this week I went to one of the most beautiful homes I have ever walked my foot into in not just Montreal, fucking period. Beautiful, beautiful house. But yeah, man, like everything is a clean install. Like, yes, he does have a matrix because he has to. Like, it's just it. And yeah, man, it was unfucking believable house. Unbelievable.
I guess the only solution, or one of the easier solutions is to go through Plex, because Plex you can still tie it into a standard server and have a client app run on each TV.
Oh, speaking of Plex or apps on the TV itself, can you actually? I own a Google. I own a movie on Google, right? I bought Sausage Party. Fucking epic. I want to watch it, and I don't know how to put this damn thing on the Googles because it's. Is it gonna work? You think?
How is this anything to do with Plex?
No, there's nothing to do with Plex, but we're just talking streaming media. How can I get my Google account to bloody LG TV so I can watch movies that I purchased on Google? Is that a possibility?
I have no idea. Does Google have an app for the LG TVs?
Not that I've seen. I didn't. I was looking on the panel for an app, and it still does the same thing. By the way, I turn it on, and the fucking network doesn't connect to the screen. It's still an LG thing. Not obviously, there's nothing to do with the theater, but that it's bothersome. So you turn it on, and it's like 3 minutes later, the network comes in.
Can you download the physical or the media through the Google Store?
I could download it to the phone. I couldn't, like, that's what I was thinking. Like, download the bloody movie into the computer, and then from the computer just play it through the Plex, whatever file that is.
Yeah, so if you can download the data, then you can play it through Plex, right? That'll be fine.
So, yeah, that movie is fucking hilarious. I haven't laughed so hard in such a long time. When I first watched this movie, man, I howled like it's still probably part of the podcast history in early, because I definitely mentioned the bloody thing.
But, yeah, I know you love that movie.
It's so funny. It's so funny. But anyways, so yeah, that's my feedback. Oh, I guess this week is gonna be the week where my walnut grill shows up.
Well, find
and that's
your
when I'm gonna
way
come
to
out of the
Discord
demo.
when you have it, so we can all see some pictures.
Yeah. I'll post some pics prior, before, and after. But yeah, that's gonna be the day that I'm gonna exit the beta software for a while. Because
Sausage Party was the movie, right?
Yes. It looks like a Disney cartoon, but it's so far from it. So don't watch it with your children. Ever. Till they grow up. But yeah, it's funny though. It's a funny movie. But yeah, other than that, like it performs flawlessly. I absolutely love the sound out of it. Yeah, this thing is that's the movie right there. Brenda the Bun. It's such a funny movie. It's such a funny movie. And there's so many, like, they hit so many different, like, they made parodies of so many different movie scenes in that. It's yeah, it's epic. Definitely something. Yeah, smoke a joint and watch that. Because damn, I guess you can into wherever you are in Canada. It's like beer.
I mean, coming back to the Plex thing, the Plex thing is underrated because you can still tie in cable to a Plex server if you want to. And or free over-the-air signals and stuff like that, and distribute that throughout the house.
How can you do that?
You have add-on cards for cable, for instance, for just a small TV. The over-the-air thing, I think, is just a USB thing with an antenna, and then you have a piece of software that runs your antenna. And I think if you pay for Plex, you can even pause live TV and it records locally.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I mean, Plex is maybe not as good as Infuse is for film streaming, although it's close. It really, I mean, it doesn't matter that much. But for everything else, it's better.
Yeah, I haven't really been dabbling in the Plex much. Honestly, I've been so busy lately that I've been pulling 12-hour days.
if I watch something on Plex over here, right, and I pause it, I
Mm.
can go to the bedroom and just press play again from where I paused here.
Maybe B&O should look into making Plex a natural source since they're discontinuing the Matrix support.
If so, yeah. It. But I still think they should do matrices, especially in North America. Like I understand in Europe, like next to nobody has set-top boxes anymore. Not really. Like you have
No, but
these.
here it's just that's just the way of life. Like you cannot get away with that. Yes, they are the size of a freaking phone now or smaller. Not smaller, but they're like an Apple TV or like one of those,
Mhm.
conventional streaming boxes you can get. That's the size of them now, right? But it's also bullshit that some of them are now very hard to control through the puck tables, right? We just made up a new a puck for the bell boxes because there was no support. And I also find it weird that like bell box on a Eclipse and Harmony is US generic 6. Sorry, US generic 4, and on the theater is US generic 6. It's a completely different box, like completely different brand, but that puck table works on the identical box, but under a different brand and in a theater, which makes zero sense to me. But it works. Now it works.
Hmm.
But I also had Saturday yesterday. I went out to one of my clients and give him a proper walkthrough because ever since it was a guy with the 90s and a theater in that little small cram area.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be moving that out again in June, July because they're renovating the whole house. Like they're gonna move out and just it's gonna be shit show. But for now, I just set him up right. I go in there and I turn on the bloody Apple TV, and I have no CEC control. Like the Apple TV froze up.
How
So
did
I had
that
to reboot
happen?
that. Well, they probably haven't used it for months or
Oh.
weeks. So yeah,
Maybe silly question. I don't know if you know, but can you buy the power bricks for an Apple TV separately,
power bricks.
or the thing that powers an Apple TV? Like,
Just the power cable. There are
yeah,
no power bricks over here.
I forget now because I haven't looked at it in a long time. But I have an Apple TV, and I was wondering if I could just pack it up and take it, and just get a cable or power brick or whatever. Probably, I'll look
Yeah,
at the
you
spec.
could.
Or if I had to sell it, but I also don't I don't use it that much, but
I'd just sell it and buy one new here. Fudge. It's an Apple TV. What are you going to sell it for €100 maybe?
something like that. But if it works, why sell it?
Just get a new one here for double the
Probably get
money.
another one there anyway.
But do you really need it? The bloody
No,
panel has AirPlay in the thing anyways. All the streaming services are built into your TV panel. So I don't understand what do you really need the bloody Apple TV for? Unless like yeah, I don't see a reason.
oh, it's just new. Thank you, Lawrence. Just a new power cable. Oh, that'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, but I
Then
think
I'll
yeah, you just need you need from your monster plugs to just those regular electrocute yourself on your own US version.
one of
You
those
know what
wonky small
I
plugs.
so this has been irking me for a long time. I think it's actually since I moved to Montreal. Why the fuck are the plugs upside down, right? Because the ground is on the top and plus and minus is on the bottom, which is right side up. Like uh the reason for that is that if you have plug that is like not fully inserted in a socket,
Yeah.
and let's say something falls on it, the first thing that it'll hit the ground pin before it and likely bounce off. Where in the rest of the country here, we turn it upside down, so the first thing it hits is the fucking plus and minus, so it arcs. And that's the reason I guess that whole I guess not I don't think it's Montreal. I think it's Quebec altogether that they have upside down electrical plugs here. Still weird to me to look at it like that, but anyways, you'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. It's bloody weird. Still, I'm looking at the chat, and I don't understand if the goal is to go after very high net worth individuals. Are we just looking at the very high net worth individuals in tiny homes or something?
They don't really exist.
Well, there's a few. I
Yeah, but
guess,
there's a lot more people living in a lot bigger houses once they have a lot more money, right?
yeah.
That's just what naturally is a progress. Like, if I had a lot of money, do you think I would be fucking living in this, right? If I was a millionaire, I'd be living in a fucking penthouse somewhere on the top floor. Well, I'm
I
still
mean,
on the top floor,
to
but
put
not
it
in a
this way,
penthouse.
I'm not a VHNY or whatever they call it, the stupid acronym.
You
But
know?
in the US, I'm going to live in an average home, which is probably around 200 square meters, which is enormous for European standards.
Yes.
But it's kind of like, in most of the US.
Hmm.
So, I mean, just God, just to have everything also on the network, because if you have to have all the sources quadruple, I mean, if you
Yes.
can't use your Apple TV, you're going to have a network that will happily cope with 4 Apple TVs and 4 set-top boxes and God knows what else.
Mind you, like Bell set-top boxes, you cannot run on your internal network. They have to run on their own. So they have their own Wi-Fi created. It's bullshit because they proprietarized it. So if you put it on the hardwire on your, like, let's say, Ubiquiti switch, it the likelihood of it working is very, very little, if any.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that's how they lock this shit down here. So it's beginning to also be a huge challenge for huge installations because then you have to run 2 fucking parallel networks, one for the goofy bell boxes and one for everything else.
This is another reason to keep the matrices around. Because you just have to have it near where your network already is.
Yeah, you can have it all downstairs. Yes, you can have 4 or 5 set-top boxes to you go into your 4 or 5 TVs, but you can also watch one set-top box for all 5 TVs or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get why they're moving away from the matrix support
And
because that's
usually the
something that,
setup boxes aren't free either. Like, it's one of these annoying things that you have to pay monthly fees for.
yeah, some, I don't know how it is here. I don't own a set-top box because I don't consume normal media anymore. It's a waste of money.
Well, here you get, like, the first one free. It's like, wow,
Mhm.
thanks, I'm paying for TV and I can watch it, so I get the setup box thing for free. And then anything above that is like $7.50 a month extra. Something like that, which is like, okay, this bill just became enormous because I have 5 TVs in the house. I want to watch cable on.
Yeah, so I don't get the decision process or how it's been made or what they don't have enough programmer engineer power to compete or I mean to keep up with that as well as far as the demand is. I don't understand.
Rudy says connect matrix to LG panel and turn on from HDMI 1 and 3. I guess you could, but that's only if you have 2 sources, right? I mean, if you have an Xbox, a PC,
No, but the way he's saying it, you will not have puck control
yeah,
because if you put a puck control out, then you have to go HDMI A, B, or C on the theater in order for that input to work. So you would still have to connect the damn box into the what's it called? Into the theater.
yeah.
Because if you selected HDMI 1 or 3, then the puck is automatically disabled because now it's just a screen control.
I must say though,
If
for
that makes any
most
sense.
things, HDMI CEC works perfectly fine. I have no problem controlling my Apple TV and it's connected to the panel. Same, well, my Intel NUC is actually not. It's just giving picture, and the connection is the little keyboard Bluetooth thingy.
Mm-hmm.
But Apple TV, no issue. But it becomes a bit of a pain when you need to go here, there, and everywhere. If I had a PS4 or 5 or Xbox with it. It's like,
Hmm.
or a DVD player for that matter. So 4 sources is still not out of the ordinary.
No.
Especially if you have money to burn.
Well, but there's like, I call it the Mexican box because it's one of my good friend and clients back in Calgary. His girlfriend's Mexican, and she got from her family sent this little box that like she can watch all the Mexican shows and all that. You know that soap opera bullshit, right? That they love.
Telenovelas.
Telenovelas. Oh my god, right? And he just like fuck. I'm like, can we not put this? Not, we can't do this on the Matrix. Like, I need to confine her into one room where this is.
Jose,
And oh
okay.
god, and it's so like the acting is just oh my god, you want to slit your wrists. And I got it going, but obviously there's no puck control for it, so it couldn't even be in the Matrix or sitting on the Matrix. But then again, yeah, it's more sources. Like it's just there's still some sort of a random ass input that somebody's gonna come in, or oh, I got a Fire Stick for Christmas. I don't know why, but all of a sudden you plug that in too, right? Because your uncle bought it.
Right, so keep
So
it. It's not in the way.
yeah, but I'm saying like I think that they're underestimating the importance of the Matrix, in my opinion. Rudy, in our scenario, a lot more clients. We are not doing the Control 4. We're doing the Savant in our scenario.
Is it Savant like easy?
I never really played with it.
Because isn't Savant basically synonymous for genius?
Savant is well, it's a very solid system, by the way. Like looking at the guys, working with it, there's really not much that goes wrong with it. And if it dies, it's the entire module, right? But the nice thing is that obviously everything is stored on the server, so you can just dump the new program into the new processor, and you're up and running in 15-20 minutes. That was one of those cases of that beautiful house that we did. Like I went in there to replace or update all the keypads for engraved ones for the Lutron. So I think I did, I don't know, maybe 35 to 40 keypads in 2 hours. And in the meantime, he did
Bloody
all
hell.
the. Oh, well, when you figure it out and you have tools, it's easy, right?
Yeah, but the amount of keypads is more like.
Yeah, it was a lot of keypads. Every room had keypads. Every room had keypads. He is one of the biggest Savant and Lutron systems that we've done, I guess, is the like Epic Song.
So now doing more with other systems, do you still swear by Lutron because of what it is, or because you know it, or?
There's Lutron in that house, but it's controlled with Savant. Or integrated into the Savant, but all the lights are controlled by Lutron. Lutron is, I think, the most solid brand you can buy as far as lighting control goes. It's fucking brainless when it comes to once it's programmed, it's done deal, man. Like, put it this way, I've reused the same dimmers that I had bought in 2000 to, oh my god, 11, so 12 years ago, when I first did my mom's house in what the fuck we're living at, Somerset. No, not Somerset. I forget the address already. And then we moved them into the new home that she had, Auburn Bay. Sorry, it was in Auburn Bay. The first time I did like the lighting control when we lived together, and that was the first thing she asked when she was moving into the new house. Like, are we gonna do the lights? I'm like, freaking rights we do. So I pulled all the lighting system out before we even sold the house. So then, because everything what's on the wall or in the wall stays with the home. That's the rule. She had to negotiate the fucking BeoVision 7 because it was still on the wall when they had the walkthroughs. So, anyways, it's a very, very rock solid system. I'm quite excited about that new RA13 that's coming out, or RA3, sorry, versus the RA2, which I think it's going to be much more friendlier on the LED side of the things, because a lot of lights now are LED, and their dimming is sometimes flickers, and it's just a pain in the butt. So,
I need to know if that's a rule in the US too. Because
what?
what's on the wall or in the wall stays.
Usually that's negotiated like that, yeah. So you take all your artwork off. But
Wait, that's his internet, right? I'm still here. Oh God, I'll mute him for you guys. Let's see if he comes back. I would just wondering if we were to. Oh, you're back. You're back again. Just wondering if we were to ever move and have all my 17s on the ceiling, right? Hello? Hello? We can see you. Okay. Hello? Hello? I don't think he can hear us.
am I working?
Yeah. I can hear you typing.
No, I lost sound. What the fuck?
Hello? I can hear you too.
I'm gonna disconnect.
Oh, good God.
All right. Can
Are
you
we
hear
back?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't
That
hear you
was
the
weird.
whole time.
My Skype just crashed.
Weird.
Yeah, I just because I had the YouTube and I'm like, what in the hell is happening? Anyhow, there you go. See, we haven't had that for a while, so then we dropped connection.
No, I was just wondering if we were to ever move and I have all my 17s on the ceiling, like, do they stay with the house? I sure hope not. Like, you can have the cables in the wall, that's fine.
Yeah, that's how you leave it. You leave the cables and you piss off. Like you don't. At least here, you don't walk people through the home the way it is because that's the assumption that they're buying is the way it is. You can also get like you put an exclusion into the contract that we're selling this, but sounds B&O speaker system and all the ceilings or whatever you have.
Yeah. Interesting.
So,
Well, good to know.
yeah.
Did you see this on ROS yet? The new Bio Living Intelligence?
No.
It's white now, and it's quote unquote a Mark III.
I don't think they ever even said anything about this. Let me go look on BioWise. Because that's weird. I'm actually looking forward to it then. If it's let's see, Bio News.
I mean, supposedly middle of next month, dealers could order it. I think it said. I don't remember.
It's not even mentioned so far anywhere that I can see.
I mean, I'm not sure it's really any different. It's still chemo and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay.
But Guy's Eagle Eye thought that it looks almost identical to a Samotech box.
Which one is that? Fuck, that's the same almost.
Yeah. Well, the only thing
except the mini SD card slot. Yeah.
But this box regularly, maximally, is £150.
And what is that? The Home Assistant.
Yeah, a Zigbee hub.
Silicon. Interesting. Adam asking level all lights on and not responding to Google. What is the fix? Are the lights orange? If they are, honestly, just factory reset the thing. And if you're in the beta, get out of it. And set up your Google. Because then you won't be able to pair your BeoRemote one if you have one. I don't know if they took that out or not. What?
Rudy says more powerful processors announced last week have to buy a new license even if you upgrade. God, that's a pain in the ass. That's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Because for everything else, it would follow over up until this point.
I don't understand what the difference for me would be between Mark II and Mark III, I guess, as far as the BLI goes. Yes, it's a faster processor, so what can you do with it? Like, at
More
the end of the day,
cameras.
well, yeah, fuck, I don't care for the cameras at this point.
Yeah, yeah. As most people know, my house is quite dumb, and I'll be willing to look at like lighting things with your Lutron because you've been harping on it for years, but I'm not necessarily sure I need all my blinds and everything automated as well.
Blinds are expensive from Lutron, but then again, if you do, like, that's what it makes sense to get a BLI if you're doing Lutron lighting system, because then you can incorporate, like, let's say you can have a movie button, right, where you can have your lights preset to certain dim levels and others to turn off, and then you have your theater go on to a certain uh, source and volume per se. So that's where that makes sense.
I mean, yeah. With regards to this box, B&O, first of all, it would be handy if there's any price indication at all on any of these pages.
No.
Because I have a feeling that even though it's a Mark III or whatever it is, it's going to be eye-wateringly expensive compared to anything that runs Home Assistant or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, a lot of stuff is pre-done through Chemo. But the people that like to tinker with this stuff probably can get the same thing done for half the price with Home Assistant.
Mm-hmm. The only thing is that, yeah, like through Home Assistant, you can't really coordinate the lighting in a certain scenes and sequence. No, sequence, not the scene, because you can make
Sure,
it.
but you would expect if that is the case that there would be some explanation on the website for this.
Mm-hmm.
For any
So
of
it's
it.
1800. Is it, Rudy? Where are you from? Are you in the US or are you in Europe? Is it a 900? So 1800 euros or
I
US?
think it's US.
I think it's US as well.
If I remember right, Rudy, you're in California, aren't you? I think.
Hmm.
Uh,
It's funny. There's a mold cutout for the SD card slot, but it's just not opened.
yeah.
If you look close enough, it's basically the identical box. LA, there you go. Yeah, so it's 1800 US.
Oof,
God,
that's a
that.
price increase. Because wasn't the current one like 1200 or something?
I think it was 14 altogether. No, it was 12, 6 and 6.
Yeah. Ouch. That's an expensive piece of plastic.
And it's not even the plastic that is expensive, really. It's the time that you're gonna have fucking somebody spend there to program all of it, because that's not also included in the price, right?
Yeah.
So, like, in all honesty, like if you're doing a house with this and it's a big one, that's a $5,000 bill with how much time I would spend to get it all done.
Yeah, last Tuesday, Mark was joking, like, oh, it's going to be 1200 quid. Turns out he was lowballing it.
Joke's on you, bro. Gotta be all high net worth, whatever.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I'm not BLIing anything. Bloody hell, I'm not paying that much for that.
Quite honestly, I think at this point it would be cheaper to get a Bio. What the fuck was it called? BioLink gateway from the old yesteryears.
Yeah.
And then you can even control your 9000. Oh no, you sold yours. Never mind. But because that one is fully unlocked out of the gate, right? The only thing that you have to pay the chemo subscription is if you want the remote access. I've paid for the
But
remote
surely
access. Didn't care.
If I only need lighting control, I can still get away with a BeoLink gateway.
Yeah, the first one, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get a BeoLink gateway for like €400 or whatever, 300 something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, apparently you can coordinate scenes with the Home Assistant.
Yeah, down
Yeah.
to like milliseconds.
I wouldn't be surprised if he says it like this, that yes.
I know nothing.
There is a whole subdivision on our Discord for that, for the people interested, and I'm purposely shying away from it a bit because I know I'll find it interesting, and then all of a sudden I've lost 3 weeks of my life just getting good at it, right? And for no apparent reason other than I just want to know more, I want to know more, I want to know more, and then it's like, well, actually, never mind.
I don't know. I'm BNO through and through, man. I would piss on a Google Assistant. I'd still go with the Bio Living Intelligence deal.
It's Home Assistant. It's not Google. It's open source.
But still, so you can control it. What box do you have with that? What, you just go Raspberry Pi and...
Yes, amongst other things. You can also run it off a NAS. You can run it off a PC that's always on, if you want it to be always on. You can run it off a server. You can run it off of so many things. Like, I have an Intel NUC that's basically always on because it's like the home server, and it could run on there.
Okay, homeassistant.io is, I guess, the website. I'm gonna give this a read today. Yeah, that's interesting, because then at least I could do stuff here without the gateway, I guess. Because this computer is always on. It's more or less, yeah, it goes to sleep, I guess, but it's never turned off. So I could try playing with it.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I was under the impression that Home Assistant was a part of the Google's, umbrella conglomerate deal. I didn't know that this was an open source thing.
Yeah, and I think on GitHub a lot of people share what they already did, where you can just change it to your specific parameters. So it's just copy paste and go.
Sick. Let me get me another coffee here.
So
I'm liking that.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure how this all ties in. Because so far I've always kept my place dumb, and so far it saved me from a lot of weird bugs and features and things that aren't supposed to be there. I mean,
so
the only thing I potentially, what I can actually see myself using more often is an all on or all off switch, or like your welcome and goodbye scenes, right? In the US. Because as soon as you're near the garage or something, if, I don't know, maybe you see some light creep under your office or something, it's like, God damn it. Now, actually, in a big North American house, it's actually far to walk if you're in a hurry, instead of just going, goodbye.
Sorry, my compressor's going still.
That's okay.
And it's done. A freshly brewed cup of coffee. So yeah.
I mean, maybe for the people in chat that work with Home Assistant, could you potentially run it off an old phone or something like that?
Like a Nokia?
Well, maybe not that old, but I don't know. Let's say you have, I don't know, by now an iPhone 6 left over, or
no, Christian says no.
Or an old iPad or something like that.
No, Christian says no.
Or Pi 4 and up. So would it matter? I mean, I take that answer is no because it's Apple. So if it's an Android device, would that matter? Then I'm just wondering, because Apple is Apple, and Apple would probably only let you do that if they knew all your PIN codes to all your bank details and whatever.
That's right. Your mother's maiden name and shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna play with that. I didn't know that. I honestly, I was under the impression that the bloody thing is like all Google deal. So if it's an open source, I I'll install it on this computer and start playing. Okay. So if you have a server, does that app work remotely or just while you are on the Wi-Fi network? More or less like B&O's local control, right?
It's probably also around if you port forward or something like that. Depends on security and stuff like that, I would think.
I wish that you could have remote access on the B&O app, or at least shows you the status. Like not for playback, but sometimes when I forget that, like I have timers, right, for wake up, but this week was all fucked up because I had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be on, to meet the guys at 5 so we can be at the job at 7 o'clock because it was a 2-hour drive. And I forgot to change the timer, so I get home and the bloody theater's playing the morning radio. Whole day, right? Because I got home and I left at 4 in the morning, I got home at 6 at night. So it'd be nice to see, like, if something's playing like through the app, you see, okay, shoot, I can just shut this down, type of thing.
Yes, I agree. I would think half the home automation thing is handy to see when you are actually not at home.
Correct.
Because when
you're home, you can go check the lights, God damn it! But if you're not home, you can't.
And I can also turn them off, or I can tell, like, hey, there's a light on over there.
Mm-hmm. But I do like the idea of the BeoLiving intelligence because I'm a sucker for small goofy things, and one of those is like having time on Halo and weather. Mm-hmm. That's wicked.
Yeah, that works with Home Assistant, I'm pretty sure.
Does it? That'd be sick. Not that I got rid of my Halo, so I'm slowly liquidating more and more boxes out of the storage. There's a paid cloud service for secure remote access, but also for plenty of free options, Christian says. Great. Yeah, I figured there's always a paid service of some sorts of any kind, right? I wondered to myself, is it still worth for me to pay for the IFTTT account?
Or does that Home Assistant? I've never used any of it.
Because that was all done through the BeoLiving or BeoLink gateway back in the day when I had IFTTT commands going through the Google Assistant. So if I said then this would be happening, type of thing. And I have the legacy account, so I'm paying $2 instead of like $5 a month now for it, right? Mm-hmm. For the pro account, and it's grandfathered in. But if I shut it down, then I'm stuck with paying the updated pricing, right? So I'm just wondering if it's worth for me. Christian, like, what do you think? Is it worth for me to do that or start playing with the Home Assistant? Which I think I'm gonna start playing with the Home Assistant anyways, and I guess I'll have my answer there myself to see if I can, because I think I'm done with the Google commands for now. Like, I don't want this shit to be listening to me constantly.
Well, B&O kind of decided the same thing, right? Like, it's not going to be in any future products anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And
which I like.
Yeah, thank you.
No,
actual clap. Bravo. It also stops you from having to make 2 different versions of everything.
Right. Which I think that was probably a very big leverage factor to it.
Yeah, and I hate when your speaker starts yapping back at you.
Okay, you got a point there, Christian. I might just cancel it because I'm paying for something that I'm not even using this. I've been using it for a year because I've obviously moved out of the house where I had it all set up, and the gateway that I used to use for that is in my mother's house, and that one's never going to be smarter than it needs to be already. That's cool. What is that?
I think that's Home Assistant with a Halo.
Tabarnak, man, that's cool.
Yeah, Christian is a bit of a genius sometimes.
Sometimes, the fuck, man. The guy's awesome. No, I like very much. See, I wish I had more time to play with this stuff because lately, doing what I'm doing is not really that much time. I know the Halo integration is completely custom because it has to be. in order for it to make work. But where do you resource the icons for all the stuff then? Because it usually is built into the BeoLiving intelligence type of thing, right? Like I downloaded the whole folder pack for all the BNO icons with circles and without circles. But I don't know.
Is there one on GitHub? Because Chemo's on GitHub.
Probably.
So you can maybe use the Chemo icons or something?
I don't know. I'll grab another soda.
Oh, all the icons are stored on the Halo itself.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
That's cool. So that thing actually has like some real memory in it, not just nonsense. If there, obviously this is not like terabytes of data that is it's in there, but
no, it's a 48 by 48 pixel thing.
Probably a little bigger, I think. Give it a break. But
I mean, I still like mine. It's just it seems like it hasn't been updated for a pretty while. I wish it could control more of the theater, for instance, of the TV side.
Yes. I honestly wish that they put that same as the stage, because if it's a soundbar, bloody hell, why isn't it the TV support embedded into the theater? Like, is it because the Mozart? I don't understand, but
you can press pause, but all it does is mute the sound.
That's right. It's like, not why.
Yeah.
So
Adam says, so level... Ah, you're back again. So level all lights solid white, Google not responding but installed. Works when touch used. That seems like it's a setting somewhere. Is the microphone on?
That's a, yeah. Default question first.
Because you can do it both ways, right? You can do the touch microphone off and or the switch off.
Mm-hmm.
And both need to be on.
Be grateful that Google is not responding.
Yeah, I am.
But if he's using it like that, then yeah, it's a different story.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would if you're still in the beta, bro, then just get out of it, man. Like I said, I'm gonna neuter my theater very soon. Because
I did it before everybody. I'm such a trendsetter.
Piss off. It's not. That's not a trendsetter. This is happenstance. That's what's happening right now. I gotta do it.
I guess
I'm not fucking around having my girlfriend over here sitting watching the goddamn thing blink for an hour and a half when we could have watched another one of those goofy girly shows. You know?
I guess I'm just the Bear Grylls of B&O software, as in I teach everybody how to survive with the with the wilderness of software.
Oh my god.
I mean, every so often I eat a bug and it's disgusting and it goes wrong, but other than that,
yeah, I think you should exit the beta, bro. It's not worth it at this point of time. So then I'm gonna do the same thing, because I backed out the theater in the shop because the new software came on. We lost control over the C2 panel. It would just shut off, but you had to have an LG remote to turn it on.
Wait,
no,
what?
Yeah, no way it would turn on. No way. Factory reset. Then nothing. We got out of the beta. Factory reset the TV. Reinstalled the app. Factory reset the bloody theater. Now it's handshake. They're all happy. It works like a charm, like nobody's business. And for some reason, it sounds a little bit better. I don't know if it's because of all the padding that I've put in it, and it's just like solid as rock now, or they had fixed something within the True Imaging or True Image engine that, whatever the errors and bugs were in there. So, but is it 2.5.3, Sandeep? But what's the last three digits which they don't show you? Because there's .114 and then there's .118. And those two are different also from one another based on, let me go to the product health center and let me look into my theater.
I think that's the only place where it shows you more than the first three letters or numbers in the product health.
And I disabled automatic updates to piss off.
Yeah.
So the version installed that I have is 2.5.3.131.
Mm-hmm.
Official version that they have for now is 2.3.4.15.123.
I think I'm
And
still on that version.
an available service version is 2.5.3.131. And there is no release notes for that. So
That's why I'm unaffected. Yeah.
whatever. Oh no, don't download that shit. So yeah. There you go. So I might.
One thing I am kind of, how would you say, suspicious about or
weary
is that roughly everybody is now on either one or the other version of software, right? Mine or the .31 at the end.
Yes.
But that the experiences are so different.
Could it be based on the hardware that is installed as far as the board's versions? You know?
I don't know, but you wouldn't think
like,
so.
Like board revisions? Oh,
I mean, it's not that old that there should be a bunch of revisions, right?
No.
And
shit.
I mean, yes, there is a multitude of levels where people have different setups and that sort of thing, but you would think that shouldn't alter it that much.
No, it should not. I'm gonna pull out another battery out of my freaking solder case because that one died. I have neglected charging. Poor charging discipline.
Yeah. So it's just I don't know. It's worrisome to me. I mean, maybe I've just been lucky now recently after having some supremely unlucky times with B&O that I'm unaffected. But
you paid your dues. But to me, honestly, I don't mind that this is happening to me because, I guess we are more or less of a little bit of a public figure when it comes to the, not just the brand itself, but, we want to help. And that's why I don't mind if this goes down to me and happens to me, because at least, as a master technician, I should know what the problem is or how this whole,
Well, I believe it was my dealer that said also, because my dealer's now also on Discord for since a short while, that apparently 10 of his customers that weren't on beta also had this thing happen with the flashing boot looping thing.
Which one, sorry?
My dealer said that 10 of his customers that weren't on beta also had this with the flashing boot looping thing. And they were also updated, which is like, I wonder what caused it then. Is it then maybe the LG updated and that there's something just like not working in between? Because all this weirdness started, right, when LG updated their panels, like a month ago?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where my started turning on, no problem, and the C2 in the shop had started getting issues.
Yeah.
So I don't get it, man. But then again, I think it's the more or less the uniformity of or trying to keep the uniformity between those two brands and products, because I don't know how much heads up per se the B&O programming crew or the software division gets heads up with playing LG's new software before, or it's just surprise, motherfucker, and they wake up in the morning and oh, your TV's been updated. Oh my god, now what's not working, right? So yeah. Is it that, or do they communicate or certain things? I'm sure they have to, at least on the app level, between the theater and the panel itself. So
yeah, the 2.3.4, the only real issue is that somehow it drains your battery really quickly in your Beo Remote 1.
Which sucks because you got 3 remotes connected to the bloody thing. It just costs money.
Well, quick, in my case, it's about anywhere, depending on use a bit, but it seems to be 2 to 3-ish months.
What?
Before batteries are dead.
I would say you're right, because I went to the house where I went on Saturday. I went there for a service call earlier, and I'm like, I can't charge these people our service call just to come in there to change fucking batteries, bro. So changed the AAAs, and yeah, it's been literally about 2 months since I was there, since he bought the theater.
The new software version is supposed to pull that at least to 6+ months, I think. Because on the Harmony, like 2 AA batteries lost, or the 2 AAA batteries lasted you, I don't know, a year and a half.
On which?
On the Harmony.
About there. Well, for me, it was little. Well, I've never had the Harmony, but most of the Bluetooth devices that I've connected, I would say I would yield about 9 to 10 months out of the remote.
Yeah.
And it's been used way more than, I guess conventionally people use it, because I also use it for changing the lighting and changing the temperatures in the house. So like, you still go to the more commands, you do more button presses than you would normally do when you just, browse your TV and then you press
like
play
your
and then you
wall
just
was
go.
too far over there.
Fucking right it was, man. I was sitting on the Eames chair. I don't want to get up. Just yell at Google at that point.
I mean, even when you had that back roller thing on the wall, you could have just done.
Oh God,
it's like, no,
that thing. I have this here. I'm gonna put it on because it's so good. I'm gonna just go roll on it again.
It's like a back dildo.
Oh, it's a back dildo, right? Oh my God, I'm gonna have a smoke since it's the last one in a while.
Yeah. So, how's everybody doing? Are you guys? I'll give it a poll.
Are you guys gonna miss us? What are you gonna do with those 2 hours on Sunday for a few weeks?
I
don't know what I'm gonna be doing, bro. I think I'm gonna take my girlfriend to Quebec. We'll go to Quebec City for the weekend. That's what I'm thinking. And it's gonna be funded by the BeoSound 4. Which I'm glad that I'm getting rid of. What's a Danfoss thermostat, Moritz? That's something European, because I've never heard of it here.
Oh, the Danfoss are like the thermostat on the radiators.
Oh.
But you don't have radiators in...
No, we only have like baseboard heaters now here. There's no radiators. There's no circulating anything.
Yeah, you basically... In North America, you only have forced air, more or less.
Let's see the poll. So yeah, anybody else has some weirdness going on with their theaters or Mozart platforms altogether? Like, to me, it seems that the only thing that is quite positive, like possessed, is the levels, because I have an issue in the shop. I don't know. I haven't talked to my neighbor. She hasn't really said anything, because I told her to let me know if there's something weird going on. But she hasn't reported anything out of the ordinary with the level that she's got going on. And my emerge is rock solid. Nothing really wrong there. But I might pull them both out of the beta just for the shits and giggles. And I'm still meaning to retune the bloody thing anyway. So
I'm looking at the poll so far, and some people are looking at some forward to some time off from us.
All right,
no employees.
Probably. The doctor
was a trick question all along.
That's right. My theater sometimes crashes. So, doctor, what do you do when it crashes, or what happens before it crashes? Does it just go out of the blue, or is it when you do source change? Because that's when it went to the Bootloop, when I went from YouTube into B&O radio through a My button. and then it just all went to poop. So Sundeep's only living room theater is the one that's crashing. Interesting. One problem today. I can't really make out the 90 meaning. 1 second delay of the sound today. Your autocorrect took over, Loritz. Yeah, you just get blinking white, stops everything. I've had that happen. I honestly, what I would do is, if you have it connected to the LG panel, reset the LG panel to factory default, because that, for me, that was what was causing the problem in the shop. That it would, and actually for me here with the G2. So yeah, it just reboots. So I would do that. Also, whatever software version you're on, you should check. And if you're in the beta, I would suggest to just pull back and retune your theater. I know it's a pain in the ass, but it's not really that much of a pain in the ass.
Takes a while.
I just don't understand why you lose those measurements, because that's a separate set of values that have nothing to do with the software. They should just be interpolated into the newer.
That's not true.
How is it?
Well, they sometimes change how stuff sounds in case there is like too much vibration or in software. Like we had that a while ago with 50s and 90s, right? Where there was new software and it just amplified the bass to the point where it was bloody unusable because all you heard was bass, bass, bass. And then there was... when was this, like a year ago, where there was no bass at all in the software? Like it was an oopsie, and then you had to wait. So they can change sound in software. So maybe there is parameters potentially for changing sound in software. So yeah,
I guess.
I mean, I don't like that they do it. Don't get me wrong.
But then again, like logically.
Also, in the next beta, if there is a fix for PCM inserted, right, they're going to have to change sound parameters.
So you still have to retune.
Yeah. I would think so.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to do it. The grill should be here this week. So I'm going to take some pics, all the new.
And they were what? $1,600 Canadian or something?
For what? For the grill?
Yeah, the walnut grill.
21, because it's bespoke.
Oh, but that's Canadian, right? Got to... so that's €1,400.
Mm-hmm. 1,400 divided by 74. Is it 74 or 72? 74.
Yeah, for people that still haven't caught on, I'm going to be moving to the US, so I'll beat Willie to Florida.
Bastard. I should have been there by now, but didn't work out.
I mean, because of reasons and cats and that sort of thing, I'm going twice, so I'll be back here in 2 weeks' time, but I'm not sure I'll make that Sunday show 2 weeks from now. Probably not, because I'll probably be destroyed and have to do even more
jet lagged and shit.
Yeah.
Because you'll be just on a cusp of getting used to the time there when you come back to turn upside down again. So that's a lot of laughs.
And coming here is much worse than going there.
No, for me it's the other way. Because I'm a late hour, so I'm okay, because then it shifts a little bit. But going back from Europe here, it's like, for me, it's at least 2 weeks of just like, son of a bastard, man. Wake up at 4 a.m. because it's noon already where you were before. It's like I'm done sleeping. But
yeah, the apartment is sold, and I'll have to be out here before May. And I also still have to figure out. I have to if KLM or whomever will accept my PC as carry-on, and in terms of what it is, and also weight.
Yeah, because it's not light either, right?
Yeah.
Will it fit into the carry-on? That's
Well,
another
the thing
question.
is, it doesn't say it needs to be in a carry-on suitcase, right? You can just put it in a bag, and I have bags that would fit it. But
Hmm.
is the dimensions fine, and is the weight fine, and do they say there's hard drives in there that we need to check or whatever the fuck? And it's like, I don't know,
Hmm.
because it's not just airlines; it's also countries that are involved. And
Different. Yeah. Hmm. Well, you're just gonna find out. Hopefully, they don't confiscate the fucking thing.
yeah, and
That
then
would
I
suck.
need to and I need to figure out like what do I because I need for streaming like this I would need at least 2 screens, and I have 3. I can get away with 2, but do I bring those as well, or it's all going to be a bit tight, or do I have them shipped and just work off a TV there, or do something temporary?
Just go to Walmart and buy a screen for $100 and that's it.
Yeah, something like that. But I don't like to waste that personally. Not the $100, but more so the screen that you buy something and then you sort of toss it because you no longer
No, you don't
need
have to
it.
toss it. You just put it in your garage when in a new house. You know,
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. But anyway,
still use it.
and then from May, we're gonna go around looking for a place to buy,
Yeah,
and so we have to buy a place, and then you can't really ship your stuff to yourself unless you have a place to ship it to, and
that's
then
right.
we have to. Uh,
Open a PO box then, because they can hold your packages as well. I don't know how big, but they'll charge you for it as well. That's what I had set up. Yeah, that's fucking not
and
happening.
albino, it's way too much.
That's a little too much.
Yeah. Uh, and then we'll have to experience how long that shit takes to do, because if it's quick, it can be a month, 5 weeks, something like that. Uh,
Yeah,
but customs people are involved, and
those are the best.
yeah, they can also be lati. Well, it's coffee time now. We'll see the
Hmm.
rest of this tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting move, bro.
Yeah,
Especially
so
going across the puddle.
not only that, you need to move into a place, and we'll need to get a bunch of stuff. And
Set up, get internet, get fucking everything,
I mean,
utilities.
I don't even know how long it takes to get internet in some of these places.
Not more than a week.
Do you think so? But like, it's so hard to tell where there is like local network and who has it. There's some websites,
Mm,
but half the time it's like, do you want AT&T wireless? But that means over a satellite dish. It's like fuck no.
no, no,
Because
because
I mean,
hurricane
in case
season, you're
people
done for.
don't know, there's quite a lot of hurricanes in October, and or generally bad weather. So that
Yeah,
would
there's gonna
basically
be no
mean
streaming.
like no streaming in October.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're not going to do that. And yeah, like I said, find a place and buy a new bed and go stupid shit like that, right? Like you have to find
hmm
a bed frame again that you like, because like I'm not taking my bed from here because it costs about the same to ship it as it would be to buy it new.
yeah.
Do I have probably a credit score? You mean no? But we'll get one eventually.
Yeah, you just open a bank account.
Well, you don't really need it if you're paying for stuff cash.
Hmm. Smallest mortgage or whatever else have you. When are you selling your car?
Once I'm back,
Hmm.
yeah, unless somebody wants to buy it. Let me know if you want to buy my car.
So
But otherwise, I'm most likely just for ease. Like, I'll take some of the hit and sell it to garage.
yeah, I'm just make it painless.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you'll get like what 3, 4, maybe $5 grand less, but
Well, they have to make
it's
their money too, but
yeah, and
it's
I
no headache.
understand that, but it's pretty instant, right?
Yeah, especially now with the car industry being so lackluster and behind with everything, that you'll be able to right away
Yeah,
get it.
I'm actually amazed at what even garages are still charging for my car now.
Hmm.
So it's gone down so much less than I ever expected it would. Because I checked yesterday, and apparently equivalent cars are still going for something like anywhere between 23 and 26 or something. Like, Jesus, I bought this thing
Wow.
like 10 years ago.
Yeah, man. The cars now hold value like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, which is a pain in the ass on the other side, because apparently in the US it's the same.
Yes,
And I
it's
was
the
looking.
same here in Canada.
One thing I still don't understand, and maybe it's a Florida specific thing, but I was looking, like maybe I'll go Audi A3 or RS3, right? So I
Hmm.
looked up, like, what's an RS3 go for in Florida right now? And secondhand, like 50,000 miles, something like that. They wanted, I
35,
think,
40.
yeah, something like 40 for it. It's like, Jesus, that's actually quite a lot.
Hmm.
So I looked up, what do they want for an RS5 with similar miles? About 42.
Wow.
It was like, wait, does everybody just hate an RS5 then, or what's going on?
They don't. They're very expensive to maintain though. RS5,
So
especially
are
like if you get this.
RS3s.
Yeah, but like if I guess, yeah, the ceramic brakes. There's a little more into the RS5 than there is to the RS3. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it's a
So
much bigger car.
of course,
And
the,
I don't know, I'm just kind of surprised that, because
I'm
here,
surprised that it's that low.
yeah, I was surprised that it's basically an RS3 and an RS5 secondhand. They're the same price. I was like, how does that work? Same
Hmm.
year, too.
Interesting. Was the RS5 bent or no?
No, it was more than one.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, and
I was thinking about getting a Q5 Loris.
I
Get a
was just
Q5.
wondering, like, uh,
Hmm.
maybe it depends on availability, but there seems to be none. I would definitely go for that new Honda Civic Type R, for instance, because like fully loaded is like $42,000,
Hmm.
and that's brand new with everything, right? And
Yeah,
it sort of looks
but it's a
like your
Civic.
sure, but it looks like your car more or less. It's
I
actually
wouldn't go.
grown up, and it's not the weird kind of arrow ditches everywhere.
Yeah, but they still have those lobster taillights. It's lobster claws. I don't like
Uh,
it.
I mean, it actually looked kind of grown up for once, and
Hmm.
also, I mean, there's a buttload of storage space in the back because it's still only 4-wheel drive. Or
Something
sorry,
he'll need.
front wheel drive.
He'll need a Lambo being in Florida. Something says.
I'll rent one maybe.
Yeah, that looks actually very nice.
Yeah, I mean, they actually came out with an EV version of it.
Don't buy that.
The reviews are surprisingly good, and you get like 65 miles to the gallon, which is like, Jesus.
I guess.
I mean, my preferred car would still be an Audi or something with the B&O system.
Hmm.
But if
Get a Ford.
if it's a 4 or 5 year old car with 50,000 miles versus something like this, brand new for the same price, right? It's like,
Hmm.
okay, I'll have the new car with like the factory warranty and everything.
Yeah.
Also, Honda and their VTEC things, they're not exactly known to go faulty ever. mean, at one point, what was it? They made their 5 millionth VTEC engine, and they had 3 of them that went wrong in 100,000 kilometers.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that's a sales pitch.
That is indeed. They're solid.
Yeah. So, but most of them, these seems to sell as soon as they hit a dealer. Like, apparently, this car is so desired that some dealers are even charging 15,000 over sticker, and they're getting away with it. And it's like, okay, and if that's the case, then I'm not doing that either.
Hmm.
Then I don't know, I'll buy a shit box that's okay to dent and or hit curbs with and stuff like that.
What are you gonna be? There's no curbs in Florida, really. Like, depends where you drive.
We'll find something to hit. It'll be all right.
That's funny. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting venture.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's going to be very interesting coming from here. The amount of driving we'll have to do for everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's nothing is
I mean,
close.
not that I mind, but it's a different lifestyle for sure.
Hmm.
Like,
Well, it's a very vehicle-based lifestyle compared to Europe, right? Where you have everything. Like, even here, like in Montreal, where I live, I have 90% of the stuff that I really need. I have walking distance. So like groceries, whatever. Yeah, you pay a little bit more because they're, obviously it's a different uh, rent rate for these businesses. But I don't really have a need to drive other than for work. I could get it. Like if I had an office desk job somewhere, or like I worked in the shop as like a sales, I just take a metro, literally take a elevator down one and half a block away is a metro, and a half a block away is another metro where I would pop out of. So yeah, it's a little different, and also like parking here is just insane.
yeah, that's kind of the same here. I mean, even if I need to go to something like the Best Buy equivalent, I just it's so close. I'm there in under 5 minutes walking.
Yeah, not here.
Like it's more of a pain in the ass actually because of the walking to get big electronic items back home. Because now all of a sudden you drag this shit.
Get a cart, little dolly with you, walk through the mall. But yeah, it's a little different for distances. Like
Or maybe I could become a real Robert Sharp and get a truck.
you should
I
get
should
an F-150,
yeah,
like
with
a real man does.
BeoPlay with a BeoPlay system, and then I guess
Yeah.
in that case I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna write B&O a letter. Like, could you make some custom B&O truck nuts for me?
But yeah, it sounds actually not bad. It sounds very decent inside the F-150s, or like because I've listened to a few of those B&O systems, and I understand it's all Harman and B&O branded, but it's still B&O tuned. So it's not Jeff Martin
Yeah, but
music
it's a
ears,
license.
but it's a license, and they do retain that acoustic imaging very very close to what like let's say it's in the Audis per se.
I
I'm
don't
not talking like an A8 where it's a completely different sound system, but the basic is it's very very close.
I think it's a license for the name, and
I think
I
it's the
mean they
amplifier
more or
technology.
less own it, but I don't think they have the full final say on how it sounds.
Might not. I'm sure that
Because
they have some
otherwise,
sort of agreement.
I mean, at some point, because why differentiate if you're a Harman, right? At some point or another.
Exactly.
So,
But no, it sounds good. It sounds very good in there. It's not something that especially like if I had a truck here, oh my god, what a pain in the ass to drive this thing in here.
well, one of the silly things I'm looking forward to is having actual garage and parking space in front of the house.
Hmm.
Because right here where I live, this is one of these cities where the eco warriors have taken over, and they hate cars and they hate parking spaces. So even if you manage to get into the city, they don't want you to park anywhere.
Yeah,
So
it's the same. Montreal is very much the same with the bike lanes. They've taken over all the streets that like you could drive. It
I mean,
sucks.
one of the big selling points of my apartment is that we actually own the parking spot that comes with it.
That's a huge plus.
Yeah, but I only have one, so like, if I
Hmm.
wanted a second toy car or even a shit box or whatever,
That's an offsite storage then, I guess.
well, you can still rent a space, but it's like at least 250 a month in terms of
Yeah.
preferred rental, which is
Hmm.
like by the time you paid insurance and road tax and everything, you just stored this thing and you're already like 400 down a month.
Hmm.
It's just like, so yeah, it's all a bit annoying, and yeah, in the US, since everything is cars,
Everything is built around parking requirements. That's
yeah,
it.
I
Like
mean,
there is prescribed amount of parking spaces per square footage of a business. That's how that works. At least it works here like that in Calgary when I was working with the architecture. That like if you're doing a strip mall per se, and there is four shops that are at 40,000 square feet per. I believe you need about 160 parking stalls per business. So then it's just huge parking lot that you end up with. Like if you look at Costco, if you've ever, when you've been to US, like it's a fucking enormous parking lot, right? Like, but it's just because how large the store is, and Costco is a bad example because the occupancy in Costco is very, very high. A lot more people go to Costco than, like Saturday, it's a fucking mayhem in Costco versus like an ordinary grocery store. So yeah, that's not a good example, but it's a prescribed equation, more or less a formula to what you have to have for parking in here based on what your business size is.
yeah, one of the things I'm still not looking forward to is the AC everywhere. Because
Why not? It's awesome, dude. You can turn it up. You don't have to live in a
I
freaking igloo and
understand,
shit.
but America being America, America tends to overdo things. So if it's like 33 outside and you go into a Walmart, it's like
Oh,
18
Walmart is you need
cells.
a jacket, bro. You need a fucking jacket to go to Walmart. And if you're not, you're gonna buy one in there. Because I've been to Florida during the peak of summer, I guess, right? So it's super hot. And then you walk in and it's, from let's say 35 degrees to 21, right? That's a big smack
Yeah,
in the
it's
face. And
instant
it's just like,
headache.
oh my, I don't get the headache. I just get cold and I shit. And then you go to like the grocery part where there's fridges and it's even worse. And oh no. So yeah, you just quickly do shopping and then get out. But that I'd rather deal with that being cold in the store for a little bit than being cold fucking outside in the snow for a whole month doing anything.
Yeah, well, we're going to my mother-in-law first, and we got a picture. They had some snow, and you look on the balcony, and it has this glass sliding door, right? And this
Yeah, yeah.
part of the bottom of the glass is just snow.
Failed.
Yeah, it's like 40 centimeters of snow, and it's
Same what I had on
like
my balcony here. Like it's beyond usable. Fuck. But
like you couldn't open the door because there's just like 2 kilos of snow gonna fall in.
man, I like the Tremblant and stuff. We went to do we swapped the 90s. They worked. Oh my god, the shit grin on that guy's face was just epic. Got him all
Nice.
tuned and blah blah blah, and yeah, he just freaking creamed the shit out of him first out of the gate. It was great. It was absolute. And you know what? The only thing I hated about that whole thing was how much I started to miss mine even more now. I really want to get my 90s up and running.
Wait, you didn't miss the TV above the fireplace?
No, and you know what? That TV is actually recessed, so it was done properly. So there's no
Sure,
heat
but it is
coming. But
like, hey, I'm watching TV over there.
yeah, but that's North America for you. You got to go up and high.
I'm gonna go on a crusade for 2 high TVs.
But you know what? In that scenario, it kind of makes sense because then you can see the TV from the dining room, which is behind the living room, and also kitchen, right? So you can see it over top of people's heads, I guess. Uh, but not my preferred height of the TV placement, but it is what it is. You put it where people want it. But yeah, those 90s, man, tabarnak, like just fucking killed. They just killed. I wish I could unpack mine, but I can't even fit them through the bloody door here.
I'll buy them off of you.
Fuck. I'm gonna have to buy another set when I get to US because of
Oh
stupid weather.
no! A new
It's
set of
such
90s. Oh
nonsense.
no!
Yeah, but it's not gonna be money that I used to pay for them. Damn it. That's the feels bad about it all.
Yeah, at least you'll be in Florida.
But at least I'll be in Florida, so
And you won't have
if I
to
have
break
to,
your back moving them around.
I'll have to fucking break my back moving them anyways. Because if you want them, what would you go? Would you drive up here to pick them up? You can't because you don't have the pokies.
I don't know. I'll figure something out.
Drive a fucking
Surely
U-Haul.
that those same people that drive that shit down can just drive it down.
Yeah, the pods guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
put them in a smaller container, but that's fucking expensive.
Okay. Well, I'll drive up
Shipping
or
would be
something.
Air freight would probably be cheaper.
We'll
Why
meet
am
in
I
the woods on
agreeing
the
on selling you
border.
these fucking speakers? What happened here? No. We're not doing this. Not yet. But yeah, we'll figure it out if time comes to it.
We'll meet in the woods on the border.
Just shove the pallet over. Here you go, bud. It's yours now.
I mean,
But
that's
I have all the paperwork for them, so like all the duties were paid. So I don't think you'd have a hard time in crossing the border with them back because they come from states.
I don't know.
No, I don't love my emergers enough to give up the 90s, bro. But I think that's where the conversation with the attorneys is leading. So I'm gonna have to talk to them again this next week if I can get hold of these pricks. And just it's frustrating, bro. It's really frustrating. I wish I never went with that firm to begin with, but you know I'm too deep in to pull out. So I'm just gonna go with it. Take one for the team. I'll take a few for the team at this point.
Or maybe I'll just I don't know, rent a van and I'll just go. Hello, eh? I'm back, eh? And they go, welcome in. And I'll just
It
pick
wouldn't
them
be
up
that far.
myself.
It's like it would be about a 3-day drive to get here
I
from
don't know.
Florida.
I would probably fly over and rent a U-Haul there and drive back.
Or that.
I mean, that saves so much time.
Yeah, that would save a lot of time. Plus also money because you don't have to drive it there and back.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that you could never do in Europe, really, is rent a car and not drop it off at the same place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here, if you rent a car from anywhere, you have to drop it back off where you got it from. And that's
No.
fantastic with U-Hauls and that sort of thing, that you can just rent it anywhere, go to where you want to go and just turn it in there and say, good luck, it's your problem now.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's fantastic for moving and that sort of shit.
well, they have it figured out here when it comes to that. And also, like at the end of the day, then I think the nicest thing about the U-Haul, yes, they're well, the trucks themselves are ungodly uncomfortable to begin with. However, at least you're in charge of your own destiny. So if you fuck this up, it's on you. It's not movers, right, or whatever. Like it's just everything you loaded there. You know, if you don't pull over every few hours and check on your load to see if it's shifted or something fell or like if you're careful with it, like you can make it across the entire country, which is a lot of miles.
I mean,
So
essentially, you would quite literally only need a truck to get the 90s back.
mhm.
I mean, double tarp it and you should be okay.
Well, they're already waterproof sealed anyways as they are sitting right
Yeah.
now. So
I mean, I wouldn't need a massive truck or anything. If anything,
no.
there's European or like the man in a van thing from like here.
Yeah.
The
Two guys in a truck or whatever the business
the
is
sort of
called here.
VW buses and that sort of thing. That would fit that fine. And it's more.
It depends on what, like, when you're coming, because like what I would be worried, like, if it's an open cab truck and you're driving and you get stuck underneath one of those fucking monsoon rains coming through like Jacksonville or further down, like that's gonna be feels bad, because that's a lot of fucking water coming down at the same point, like at the same time. So that's where I would rather have something that is in the cabin per se.
Oh yeah, but I don't think these types of vans are really a thing in North America. They are here for everything.
Yeah. They're here as well.
But
These won't fit the 90s though. By the way, they're too tall for the truck or
yeah,
van.
but you can get the heightened ones.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a generic model. You
Yeah,
can get
yeah.
them that are like 20 centimeters taller.
Mm-hmm. That would work.
Yeah.
So, and it's low enough that we could lift it because these fucking things are not fun, dude.
No.
Especially with the crates in there. Like we would need some help with people. So we'll see where the destiny takes us, and yeah, maybe you will end up with my set of 90s. I don't know.
Or these Ford Transits, they'll probably fit 2 sets of 90s.
Oh yeah.
I mean, these things.
Wheels are like this on the back.
I went in one of these things to Denmark once, and God, it's floaty when it's unloaded.
Oh, buddy, yeah. This thing it's not fun.
Because those springs are meant for like 5,000 kilos of cargo and shit.
It's
right?
meant to be loaded like either with equipment or product, right? Like it's a service van, so you have at least half a ton of gear that you normally it never leaves the car.
Yeah, we were dropping off. Was it a bunch of steel patches for boats and stuff, so they could patch themselves on the water and have like this guy hang over while sailing and patching in holes, and it's like, God, like that's a job. I was thinking to myself. But yeah, on the way back, it's you're sort of just going like, there's no weight in the back, and the thing is just bouncing.
Oh yeah. But that would work. That would work for transport. Then you can take your Lab 1s with it too.
Sweet.
Those are standing right in front of the 90s. So yeah, a van with the tail lift also works, but that's we can also just do a ramp.
If you were totally private as a, let's say instead of Calgary, right, you were in Florida or Texas or wherever, and you were a pro partner, would you, looking back on it, consider doing a van like this?
100%.
Because
I would have all my tools and everything in it. I would actually equip it with the drawer, so I have a fuck ton of cables from PowerLink to MasterLink to network patch cables to power cords of different colors and lengths. I would have loom, split loom, obviously all my Milwaukee stuff, the vacuums and all that shit, and keep it clean, and then have room for all the equipment and obviously tie down so you don't have shit flying around. But yeah, no, I would definitely hook up a van like that. And maybe that's what I will end up buying. Also, if I need to buy a car, I'll set up a van to do service. If I'm gonna be, if this all goes through, also with the B&O of America, that they're gonna try to contract me or give me a contract for doing service work, then I would need something that I can drive around the entire U.S. at that point to do service.
Because these vans very few people come so far. They're basically big cars now.
Well, fuck, like if you watch the YouTube, like, these people that do conversion vans, right? Then they basically buy like a semi beater on the auction, and they just gut it and make it a like van living, right? Type of thing that they just, so no, they're very, very handy. Very, very handy.
Because I was thinking, since I'll have parking, like I'll probably, if I get one way or another in with it, and if I have to deliver a bunch of shit, I'm getting one of these vans because it's so much easier than a car or truck or whatever.
It looks more professional too, than instead of you coming in there with the fucking rented out Home Depot van and pulling a TV out of it.
Well, also the sheer fact that the loading threshold is like 30 centimeters off the floor, not like waist high, right? Where,
yes.
Like even if it is, I don't know, 28s, where everything is, you do this the whole time versus just that.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Van makes complete sense. I drape it with B&O stickers and let's go. So
I actually would probably do magnetic stickers.
Or those, yeah.
Because as soon as you park, you don't want to go like, this is expensive, all this shit in here.
Yeah. Or just a discreet Bang and Olufsen. Well, again, then I would obviously have the freaking thing secured better than anything as well. Like I would probably do a custom padlock or lock of some sorts on the back of the cabin and the sliding door. Something that is independent from the central locking system. That if it gets hacked, you know what I'm
You
saying?
would do the Mr. Bean door locks.
Oh fuck. That's right.
It's padlock.
Fucking good luck opening that door, bro. There's no fish cable or there's no shim for that. That's either you got the cutters or you have a lock picking tools.
God, the show is amazing.
Oh my god! Like I remember that we used to watch this on Christmas back when I was little. When it came out.
My fondest memories of watching this shit was in old-fashioned airplanes where the TV was still in the middle.
Yeah.
Because it was always some bullshit going on. It was too hilarious.
It's so funny. Like it's just such a neutral comedy that it addresses every age basically, and he plays such a good fool out of himself. It's awesome. It's awesome. But.
Also, actually, a B&O fan.
Yeah, he is.
So, it's always
good on him.
Yeah.
Maybe stuff. We should ask him to be on our podcast one of these days.
If anybody knows him, Rowan, you're always welcome. Mr. Rowan, Sir Rowan Atkinson. Would you please grace us with your presence? We can also talk cars or that sort of thing. Whatever. It'll be yours.
It'll be great.
Well, go by and ask him. Put a letter in his letterbox, Sandeep.
Oh my god, he went to your school? Shit. It'd be funny if we could get hold of him somehow. And he agreed.
Yeah, put the letter in his letterbox on behalf of us.
It'd be funny. But we'll see. We'll see what happens after the hiatus.
Yeah, and if I'll be back talking all like this, it's gone wrong.
I got the American twang and shit. Tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. It's going to be stressful, first and foremost. But,
right.
Dear people...
we'll miss you.
Yeah, we'll miss you too. And to you B&O dealers and or people that work there, we'll be back for you.
That's right. You hope to God something major doesn't go down because we got nothing to talk. We're not going to be able to talk about it.
Yeah. In case you want to stay up to date with all that's going on, I'll post some pictures of all this nonsense that's going on in my life, and Willie will have walnut pictures. Yay.
Soon enough.
So we'll see you in a few weeks. Stay up to date on the Discord with everything. Also, if stuff goes wrong, the Discord is not dependent on me to run, and there's mods and stuff. So yeah, you'll be up to date on your B&O on there. Hope everybody has a good week and a good time, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, maybe what I'll do is I'll try to see if I can do the Discord, like people join like you do the Tuesdays on Sunday to keep it going.
Sure.
See if that works out. So if you want people join us on Discord, I'll be there next Sunday.
Yeah, you can set it up whatever actually works for you.
Yeah. So
I could potentially do those if I'm from my phone and or local to Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But so I won't be able to stream it because it'll be from a phone or shit like that. But we can still have chats on there.
So that's our plan B option. Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Anyway, have a good one. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and all that. And see you in a few weeks. Bye.
Bye.